Hello and welcome to Sparring Sessions. My name's Dax, and we're here today to break down best bets for UFC Nashville, Lewis versus Teixeira. Or what did Jeannie say? Teixeira? Whatever it is.
Textera, whatever that was.
Teixeira.
Giant guy.
I'm not doing it by myself, though, as you can hear. I got to bring my co-host first. You know him. You love him. Tesla's a little bit, we don't want to talk about the Tesla, but Big Will, how you doing?
Teslas come, Teslas go, but
Mm,
Will stays the same.
that's
Yeah, man,
damn
I'm hyped for
straight.
these fights, man. I'll be in attendance, and
Mm,
it'll be fun, man. I'm looking forward to breathing in
in
the
person.
Nashville air.
Oof. If you can get a picture, Derek Lewis, I mean, at this point, if he wins, he's got to what? Show his asshole or something? If you can get a
He's,
picture for me,
yeah,
they're not going to
he's
show it
gonna
on
do a
camera.
fucking he's gonna do a fucking handstand or something. Naked.
And it's not just Big Will and I. We have a newbie to the podcast network, Dylan, our friend from the north. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good. It's like the
Yeah.
4 days a year that Canada's hot, so it's nice.
I heard Epstein killed himself. Any comment? So
our
Dylan, this
uh,
is your first
our
time.
our good friend from the 51st state.
Yeah,
So
you
Dylan,
know,
this is your
someone.
first time on the podcast. I ask everybody who comes on for the first time. You've been an MMA fan for a while. You've been Will and I's friend for a while, but some people may not know you. Give yourself a minute intro. How long you been an MMA fan? Maybe who's your favorite fighter? Anybody you love?
I'm kind of a weirdo. I've watched MMA since I was like 5. I grew up watching MMA. My dad like used to order the tapes from Japan, so I've always watched MMA. There's never been a time where I like didn't. So,
Hmm.
my favorite fighters are for sure the Diaz brothers because if you grew up with MMA, you kind of grew up with the Diaz brothers. So,
Yeah, that's fair. Which one? You have to choose one.
oh, Nick, for sure.
Nick. All right.
Yeah.
That's how you know he's an unk. Um, all right, we're getting thanks for the intro, Dylan. We're getting into UFC Nashville, Lewis versus Teixeira. Will, we did an entire episode breaking down the card. We did picks on a per fight basis, but Dylan, you weren't on that show, so I'll ask you real quick. UFC Nashville, not even from a betting perspective, just from how you like in a perspective. Give me a rating. Give me a 1 through 10, A through F, whatever you want.
Uh, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's sad watching Ilya Topuria kill like everyone that we like, but
Hmm.
other than that, But I
UFC
made I
Nashville,
made
not
some
UFC
money, so I was
317.
happy.
UFC
Wait,
Nashville, not 317.
oh, I didn't know.
Unk.
I didn't even know there was a UFC in between.
No, we're talking about the UFC coming
This
up. What do you
weekend.
Oh,
grade that? What do you grade the card?
well, it's going to be a lot better than the next pay-per-view, which is pretty pathetic. That's
Oh,
for sure.
yeah.
I would say it's like for a fight night, that's a 10. That's as good as it gets, really. You got
Wow.
like, well, like really for a fight night, that's kind of as much as you could want. Usually we get like 2 women in the main card, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
great, and then like one heavyweight on the prelim that goes to decision. This is for sure going
Yeah.
to at least have like a bunch of bangers on it.
Interesting. More positive than us, I'll say that. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, especially you rank the heavyweights a lot higher than I do. Even Derek Lewis and Towson
Oh,
Teixeira are.
I know that it's like two just like dudes banging it out, but like
Hmm.
I mean at least it's a fight. Like someone's
Yeah,
probably
fair
gonna get
enough.
knocked out. It's
There's
not
no questions.
it's not gonna be
There's
technical, but
You
what,
know we
12
love
fights on
dudes
this card.
banging.
We could realistically be looking at like 9 finishes on this card at
yeah.
least. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? We'll talk about that. I'm sure some of the bets we have will give away which fights we're expecting finishes, and um. So let's jump right in. Well, first off, I got to do a recap from last week. It was not my hottest week. I'll be honest. I had patchy mix. This is from way back. UFC was at 316 because we took a little bit of a break. I had patchy mix. I had Waldo Cortez Acosta that hit. Rizcano Ribeiro over 1.5.
robbed.
Harrison inside the distance. Oh, crap indeed. Uh, that hit Medeiros and Pfeiffer. That hit as well. The parlay did not. That's on me. That's on me. Patchy mix. How could you? Uh,
What was my leg in that parlay?
you would. You would Joe Pfeiffer, of course.
Sounds right.
Genie and Markel Medeiros, which props to him.
Yeah,
But plus 192, it did not happen. Bummer. I feel like this is our week, huh? This is our week. We'll see. We'll
hopefully.
see.
Knock on
Um,
wood.
knock on wood. Uh, let's jump into UFC Nashville, though. You know how we do it on this show, but if you don't, well, loser. Um, we we'll break it down first. Best bets, somewhere between 3 and 5 of your best bets. The ones you're most confident in, most willing to share out. Generally, say like minus 200 to plus 200. Although I'm breaking that this week, I got a plus 220 as one of my best bets. And
Oh
then later
no.
in the episode, we'll give you the parlay. We'll give you we'll shoot the shit and give you some value plays. But first off, we got best bets. So Dylan, you're our guest. You're going up first. Anywhere between we'll call it minus 200 and plus 200 is. What is your most confident bet this weekend?
I really like Kennedy this weekend,
Oh,
and like there's a lot of like just easy parlay pieces I feel like on this weekend where it's like you could do that and then line it up with one underdog even, and then
hmm
or even like and then when you get all the way to it, you can bet on someone you like and you win either way. That's what I always do.
yeah.
But like this weekend, I'm probably going to go with like a lot of like Cheaty looks good too, but it's hard to say. Like Matthews is so tough. That should be a dead even fight, to be honest. I can't
Mm.
really lay chalk on that one. So I like Chris Curtis, and I really like Calvin Cater too. I know he's a dog, but like
Interesting.
I believe in the Cater.
Believe in the cater. Okay. So I'm gonna give you you said a few there. I'm gonna give you cater at plus 120 or sorry, 102. So that's what I got him at right now. And I'll give you Kennedy. I don't think we can count Chris Curtis unless you give me a prox. That's minus 310. I think it's a little out of the bounds, but I'll give you Kennedy at
I
minus 210. How about that?
Chris Curtis decision. I mean, we know what's happening there.
Curtis decision. Let's see what that's at.
Chris Curtis
Curtis
isn't going to get
decision
knocked out. His head's
minus 140.
418 pounds.
I'd be interested in seeing what Curtis round three or decision would be because I think Curtis could definitely put out Max Griffin late.
100%.
Yeah, because especially with his volume being up so high, like lately, like dude, you know.
I could see it. I could see it. Maybe we'll get there in a little bit. But Will, Dylan, you just gave me three. I like it. Will, I'm gonna ask
Um,
for two or three. Two or three.
all right, we're gonna start it off with Lane versus Petrino under 1.5 rounds at minus 160. Both guys have been getting finished or getting finishes as of
Mm,
late, and especially with Petrino coming up in weight and Lane, both guys, like I said in the predictions video, both guys have issues mixing it up, and I don't think any of them will have much success with grappling. So I think these guys are going to bang it out. I think one might try to grapple. That probably will be Lane, and I think he's going to get chinned. So
mm.
give me the under 1.5 in this heavyweight. Well, what do you want to call this? Superstar studded fight. Yeah, I
Oh,
think that's pretty
Tom
solid.
Aspinall versus John Jones.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good line for this under 1.5. And
Okay.
next I've got Mike Davis by finish. Um,
Mm,
I I think he's so well rounded. I lost my ass on his last fight, but
yeah.
I think there might be something to that fight card where they were like the paint fumes in the locker rooms. You guys hear about that? Like
I heard the
I don't
French.
know. Mitch Ramirez has been done no favors by the UFC.
No.
I don't know who he pissed off, but if he gets finished here, he could be out. But I think he might get another chance regardless.
Okay.
I don't know who he's gonna fight next, but who knows? Yeah, those are my
I
first
got
two best bets.
I got minus 155 on that unless you got a better number for me.
I got minus 150, but same.
All right. Sounds good. You got first two from Will. I'll go ahead and give two of my own. First one, I got Chris Curtis minus 3.5 points at plus 150. I think this kind of goes along with you were talking, Will, maybe Chris Curtis gets a finish late, or Curtis by decision. He could win off 2 rounds and then, a third round on one judge scorecard, whatever. I think Chris Curtis gets to that minus 3.5 points. He's hit it in almost all of his victories, except for uh, there was one he was pretty close. I was looking at it earlier. Anyway, plus 150, I think, is a pretty good line because you're getting inside the distance and you're getting a dominant decision. I think Max Griffin's kind of washed. I don't think, I mean, losing to Chiesa like that was awful. So, yeah, give me minus 3.5 plus 150. Garcia, money line next up. I am way opposite Dylan here. I think Steve Garcia finishes Calvin Cater. I I really don't like, yeah, Dylan's giving me the thumbs down, but I really don't like how Calvin Cater looked last 2 times out. I mean, I was there for his awful, awful fight with Aljamain Sterling, live UFC 300, and then he only won the third round against what was his name? Why am I blanking here?
Yusuf Zalal.
Zalal, thank you. He only won the third round because Zalal just decided to give it up. Um,
Don't
so
you
I think Steve.
don't you think this is more of a grappling issue though, that he's been getting out grappled his last two fights? This guy, he's not gonna have to come find Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia is gonna be right in front of his face. And if there's one thing Cater can do, it's box.
Who would you pick in a fight right now between um, Calvin Cater and where are we at? Melky Costa.
Shit. That's tough,
It's a
honestly.
Milky,
tough. It's a close one. Melky.
Milky.
Yeah, Steve
It's
Garcia beat the shit out of Melky Costa. And at this point, Melky is so much better. This was not that long ago. This was like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Beating the
Okay, but
shit out of
who do you
Chase
think would win in a
Hooper,
fight?
too.
Yusuf Zalal or Steve Garcia?
I would pick I would pick Steve Garcia.
I pick Yusuf in that fight. I love Steve Garcia.
Interesting.
I've been on the knockout train with him, man. I'm a Steve
It's
Garcia
good.
believer, but
It
I just
just
feel, man, I just feel
the only thing
compelled to pick Cater. I don't know why.
Really.
the only
Yeah, I
thing
know
with
you did pick
Steve
him.
is like, yeah, you weren't impressed with Calvin's last three performances, but like Steve's fighting like Kyle Nelson, Sung Woo Cho, like all these guys are kind of like Costa is a good win. I'll give you that, and he beat him up, but like that was on pretty short notice, I think. Like, wasn't it?
No, no. And
Or was
and
Steve
Kyle
that
Garcia
like
Nelson
when
was
also got
Costa was
slept by
already in?
Mahashate. So
Kyle Nelson was on a 3-fight winning streak.
Yeah, but Kyle Nelson's kind of hit or miss, and
He
like, but
he
Calvin's
was
losing to
Chase
like
Hooper's last
Sterling,
loss.
Arnold Allen, like these are all
like he
really
blew his leg
legit.
out to Arnold Allen, so you can null and void that,
Yeah,
I
you
think.
you
Yeah.
you you take that out, but
He's
I
losing
don't
to
know.
guys that could
Listen,
that are like
that's
top
what we
10.
said.
He
That's
went the
what we said about
decision
Tony.
with Emmett, though. Like, come on,
That's
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 he's
what
a
we say
dog.
about said about Tony until we didn't.
Ah, don't say that.
You know I'm right though. That's what we said about Cowboy until he lost to
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Alex Morono.
He fucking beat Anthony Pettis in that fight.
Yeah, he did, but then he got knocked out by Alex Morono. Anyway,
Come
Steve
back soon. Come
Garcia,
back soon.
I'm on a trend. I play trends. I know when somebody's washed. That's my biggest betting like success is knowing when somebody's washed and knowing when somebody isn't. And I'm just gonna jump right into my next pick then. I'm gonna give you three right now because speaking of somebody who's not washed, Nate Landwehr is not washed at all.
Yeah,
One
I like
loss.
this.
One loss, Stu Ho Choi. Are you kidding me? Plus 220 is a crazy line for
That's disrespectful, man.
it's disrespectful. He's not going
Yeah,
up
dude.
against like Steve Garcia.
Yeah. Cherry A got dropped by Bantamweight.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
He lost
like,
to Nathaniel Wood pretty convincingly. He lost to Chepe Mariscal, and he doesn't really have any good wins. Like
were you on with me in that fight against Cherry A?
oh yeah, big time.
Oh yeah. Oh
That
yeah.
was one of my best bets. plus
Nice.
130.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I'm going Nate Landwehr plus 220. It's my best. It's one of my best bets this week. It's too good to give up. I can't. I mean, when else are you going to get Nate Landwehr against a middling featherweight at plus 220? Um, so yeah, those are my first three of five. I'll say that. So Dylan, you gave us three last time. You get up to five. You could just stay with your three. Any more best bets you got for this week?
No, not really. I think that's
No?
it.
All right. Keeping strong with the three you got. Will, I feel like you got a few more for me.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know I do. I'm going with Chidi and Joe Kuani money line at minus
Mm,
150. I think Jake Matthews is as mid as can be. He's never lived up to what people thought he could be. Um, people hyped him up for the last fucking, decade and a half,
mm,
or not a decade and a half, but like for the better part of it over the past decade.
yeah.
He's never truly lived up. He's had glimpses every like five fights of wow, he's spectacular, and then he goes dormant again for the next five fights and does like might squeak out a decision. He might squeak out this. I'm not a big fan of him. I think that his game plan here is going to be to hold Chidi against the cage, throw in a takedown. I don't think he's going to be able to do that. I think Chidi could knock him out.
Mm,
Um, I think Chidi could seriously knock him out, dude. That dude is gigantic. I met the dude one time in his fight against Reese McKee. Not a
yeah.
great fight, but Chidi shows that his gas tank holds up at 170 and that he can also pull off the game plan of holding against the fence that he did to Reese McKee that I think
Ah,
Jake Matthews will try to do against him. So
that was such a bad fight.
I think that will cancel out, and I think Chidi can bust him up, especially if he shoots sloppy and he's doing this, trying to shoot
Mm,
for Chidi's legs. Chidi's gonna blast a fucking knee up into his face. So I think
God,
Chidi money line is a good way to go. And
CD really saved himself with that finish over EZDS because Reese McKee and Jared Gooden, those two fights were god awful. Those were two
oh
of the
yeah,
worst fights I've ever seen,
I
back
think
to back.
I think that's a I think that might have been no excuses for him, but I think it might have been a combination of him trying to reserve his gas tank at that
Mm,
weight class because he would gas out
yeah,
at 185. But yeah,
all
man, I
goes
don't
to
know.
show.
I think Chidi money line's a good way to go. You can sprint his knockout. Yeah. And last but not least, my fourth and final best bet. No
Mm,
bias here. We're going with Tuco
hmm
Toko's money line plus 140. Um, yeah, man. Junior Tafa is mid, man. He lost a lot already in the UFC three times. He's beaten two guys that are horrendous. They Parker Porter is now a bare knuckle goat,
Whoa, whoa,
and
whoa. Yeah, I was gonna say.
my bad. Uh, yeah, no disrespect to Mr. Parker Porter, but everybody in the UFC. So he's had what? He's had eight fights in the UFC, or no, five fights in the UFC. Sorry.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah,
he's 2-3 in the UFC. Um, everyone but Parker Porter has taken down Junior Tafa, and I think multiple times. So. I don't, and especially being heel hooked in his last fight at heavyweight, like, that's so low level. For like
hmm
Dontel Mays has been heel hooked twice at heavyweight, and if you're getting heel hooked at heavyweight, you might be god awful on the ground. Uh,
yeah,
So yeah, I'm going Togo's money line at plus 140. If you know me and you know anybody that's related to the show, you know that's a friend of mine. Um, he got his black belt from a Gracie, Daniel Gracie, so he is a legit black belt. Um, so yeah, I believe in his submission skills. He has a really sick ninja choke he pulled off in Fury.
yeah,
He slept the guy. That was sick. So I think Jiu-Jitsu or Tokos can definitely get a win here. I think so for
yeah,
sure.
definitely. And although it's only with the confidence and the grappling that I'll say this. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt does not mean what it does 20 years ago. Oh my God.
Fair
These
enough,
days
but
too.
I mean, I
I know
think
he's a great grappler, which is why I'm comfortable saying it. But
yeah.
ooh, all right. I will give out my last two best bets.
Show your
Will, I
black
feel like
belt,
you're gonna.
brother. Show your black belt.
No,
I got
show
a white
yours.
belt.
Not
I got a white belt with four stripes on it for you. How about that?
oh, you're
Sounds
close,
good.
Um,
buddy.
I've been a white belt for 4.5 years.
All right. You should be a purple belt.
No, God, no. Anyway, these last two, I feel like you like both of these. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you, and I feel like you're gonna like these two. First one, uh, Klein and Martinez under 2.5. You can get that at plus 135. Um,
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
I know this one because I know you said you think Fatima Klein is gonna finish Melly Martinez. I think a finish could happen either way. You look at Klein; she's got a bunch of wins by KO, by submission. Um, she beat the hell out of Victoria Dudakova and finished her early, as well as some other we'll call them lesser competition on the regional scene. She also got a number of submissions in the ADCC trials and other grappling. So, um, yeah, I feel like that can be done. And on the other side, if she does get the upset, Melissa Martinez, uh, 5 out of her 8 wins are by knockout, and all under the 2.5. So, these two ladies are finishers. And then the last one, your queen, well, Lauren Murphy plus 3.5 at plus 150. I think she's really tough, and Eduardo Mora is um, a smallish band or flyweight. I think she can win a round. I think she can win a round. I'm not saying she wins the fight, but this could be a pretty boring hold against the cage, toss up fight, and you're telling me she can't win 3 out of the 9 rounds on the judges' scorecards? I think she can.
I
Yeah,
usually
I
Usually in
go
women's
ahead.
MMA, I just favor whoever is like the bigger and more experienced woman, which is kind of rude to say, but like there's a lot of
Well,
like low level women that are like getting in there with these older women that have just had like 30 fights and they just beat the shit out of them somehow. And it's like, all right.
yeah, well, hey, you look here. Lauren Murphy's definitely more experienced, and she was a bantamweight, and Eduardo Mora just fought at strawweight not too long ago.
We've
So,
seen Mora gas out really
yeah,
heavily, and I think if Lauren Murphy, the Lauren Murphy body type is a lot different than the Veronica Hardy body type,
yeah,
just by looking at them. So I think just looking at their body types, I think someone like Lauren Murphy can give Mora a lot more resistance than a person built like Veronica Hardy. And I'm a big
hmm
fan of Veronica Hardy. I think Veronica Hardy would do very well in the weight class now, and if she went down to 115. So, yeah, I don't hate that at all. I definitely, dude, I mean, we spoke about this way too long in the other episode, but I would not be surprised if we get a Lauren Murphy split decision. Like, it just
no,
would not
God no,
surprise me at
it
all.
would be
No.
so
Um,
boring.
I just don't know if Mara has the skill set or the wrestling to really get the fight down. I know she trains with Jelson Almeida, but I don't know I don't think the wrestling translates amazingly well in women's
Yeah,
MMA. Um, so yeah, I think Murphy brings a physicality that Mora might have not seen. So I think a
yeah.
one round could definitely go her way for sure.
And at plus 150, I'm willing to take a risk on that. So those are our best bets. Dylan has only three for us. Tater plus 102, Kendi minus 210, and Curtis decision minus 140. Will's got four. Lane Petrino under 1.5, minus 160. David's inside the distance, minus 155. And Jokwani minus 150. And Tuco Tokos plus 140. Gorgeous George. I have Curtis minus 3.5, plus 150. Garcia minus 125. Langwer plus 220. Klein Martinez under 2.5, plus 135. And Murphy plus 3.5 at plus 150. So now we're coming to the sparring sessions parlay of the week. If you don't know, shame on you. This is our parlay. We put it together as a squad. Usually it's Will, Jeannie, and I, but this week, Dylan, you're subbing in. You're subbing in. It can be any leg. Maybe you're most confident. Maybe this is where you want to put Curtis. I'm not gonna pick for you, but any leg on the card, your most confident bet. Just we're gonna throw three of them together. So, Will, are you ready to build our parlay? And
Oh yes, sir. Let me go ahead and do that.
I'm gonna throw to Dylan for the first pick. Dylan, who is your most confident pick or bet this week?
I'm for sure gonna go Chris Curtis and
Yeah.
probably I would say Chris Curtis decision, but I would probably just go
Mm,
money line on it because I mean really the
yeah.
decision's probably gonna be not that much better. So
minus 140 versus minus three. Where'd it go? 315, I think, if that's what you got, Will.
yeah,
And there's a three lag. It's
I
we're
got
not trying to get
310 for
crazy odds.
Curtis.
310, even better. All right, and then Will,
yeah.
you're up next.
I'm gonna go with Austin Lane and Vitor Petrino under 1.5.
Mm, I like it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go. You stole you stole Chris Curtis from me, I'll be honest. I'm gonna go. What are we at right now? What are we at right now?
Plus 110.
Plus 110. I'm gonna throw Mike Davis in there because you know what? Give me the Lewis Teixeira under 1.5.
Okay. That brings us to plus 206.
Plus 206. We got Curtis, Lewis Teixeira under 1.5, and Petrino Lane under 1.5. Plus 206. I like it.
Courtesy of Bovada, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. We will take your money though. We will take your money.
Yes.
I've
Next
I've
week
given
we'll be
you
like sign up with code sparring sessions.
I've given you so much of my money, Bavada. You owe me this. All right,
Time to
next
give some
up,
back.
our next segment, value plays. You know, Dylan, you haven't been on that show before. If you haven't, if you're listening, you haven't heard of this segment before. We just kind of shoot the shit. This is where we save some of the higher odds bets for the week. You know, I got a plus 600, a plus 700 on the value plays. A little more informal. Even if you don't have the line yet, if you're kind of guessing, this is where we throw that. So, Dylan, you did go first for our best bets. I'm gonna give it to Will for our first, however many value plays you got. I have four, so you can go a few if you want.
My first value play will be Fatima Klein by finish plus 110.
Mm,
That's a conservative value play, man, but I think it's good enough to play. Um, I think her wrestling attack is going to seriously give Martinez some issues. I think they're like the polar opposites of each other in terms of fighting style. So I think when Klein gets you down, she's immediately trying to inflict damage, look for submissions. She's
mhm.
nasty. So she's a finisher through and through. Yeah, I'm going to go with Fatima Klein by finish.
Okay, okay. Dylan, you got any value plays for us this week?
Well, I'm kind of with you on Nate. Like Nate is for sure worth a sprinkle. Like at that odds,
Yeah.
like why not? And then I also
Okay.
have Wonder Boy by KO. Because I
Ooh.
mean, really, if you're gonna go for it, just go for it. Because like, I mean, I don't think he's gonna be able to get Wonder Boy down. So if this is gonna be it, then it's gonna be 3 rounds of him or just holding him against the cage, just like every
Yeah.
other grappler who's beat Wonder Boy. Which I mean, there's always that chance with Wonder Boy that he gets that knee straight through, and like you
Yeah.
Mhm.
never know. You never know. I'm old. Let's go
Okay.
with the old man.
Fair enough. Pushing 40 at this point, right?
Yep, that's
Um,
me, Wonder Boy.
I'll
Wonder Boy's pushing 50.
he is pushing 50.
He's the
Jeez.
Wonder
I got
Man.
I got four, so I'll split them up here. I got Walker sub plus 600. I know I'm picking Kennedy here. I'm betting on Kennedy, but if Vulture Walker is going to win, how else have we seen him win? It's by submission, right? He got two heel hooks in a row, and now he's going against a guy who has lost by submission in the past. I mean, um, you gotta think he's gonna win by submission if anything. He could win by ground and pound, but against Kennedy, I don't know. I think he's a pretty good grappler, so um, you gotta hope. Well, if you're betting otherwise, you gotta hope Kennedy's trained his 50-50, but if
The
not, I
only
think he could get another heel hook. Yeah,
the only thing is like Kennedy is a dog. When he goes down,
yeah,
he immediately starts getting up. He's not a
yeah.
Junior Toffa or a Dontel Mays that is going to go. All right, wake me up in 4.5 minutes, and then I'll get on that stool. Like he's going to get up. He's going to work, and you know for a fact that like Walter's got about 2.5 takedowns in him. And on that third one, when Kennedy denies it, it's going to be, we're going to stand and bang now. And I
Hmm.
mean, Kennedy, they're both huge and like you never know, but I just feel like he's just so gritty. And
He
Walter has
is.
not seen that yet.
That's true. That's true. This is kind of a hedge, though. I'll be honest. Plus
That's
six
fair.
hundred for a fighter's only way I see him really winning too. I'll go for it. Next one, I got Davis by decision at plus 200. Now, Will, I know this goes right against what you were talking about earlier. This is also a bit of a hedge for me. You look at Mike Davis's last few fights. He went to decision with Ferguson. He did arm triangle the GOAT Natan Levy, so give him that. But decision with Vyacheslav Borchev, decision with Mason Jones. He took three. He took 14 minutes and 45 seconds to KO Thomas Gifford. One of the worst beatdowns I've ever seen. If you want to go back, and Mitch Ramirez, he's tough. He's tough. Even if he's been finished twice, he's still tough. I don't know. I got a weird feeling this goes to decision and plus 200 for a guy who's minus 900. I don't hate it too much. Will, I feel like you got some more for me.
Oh yeah. My next one's gonna be Derek Lewis by TKO because if he's gonna win,
Ooh,
he's probably gonna knock this
yeah,
guy out. He's undefeated against guys that are 6'7" and above because he just spams overhands.
yeah.
So I do think Lewis has a chance to knock this guy out. I also think um, Lewis has a lot of ground and pound knockout wins. People
Yeah.
don't talk about that enough. He also has sneaky good body lock takedowns. Um, I could see him wrapping this dude up, taking him down. We have no idea what this guy's ground game really looks like. We also have no idea what it really looks like past the round. So
Yeah.
I think Derek Lewis could try to go after him, tie him up against the cage, trip him, and take him down. And dude, he lands some of the nastiest ground and pound I've
Oh,
ever seen. So yeah, go. I'm going with that. Another one. I don't know what the lines are yet, but I am interested. I'm imagining Chris Curtis's. Um, Significant strikes lines will be between like 70 and 90-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. I'm interested in going like 100 plus, 110,
mm,
120 to get some really good plus money value and get up to like plus two, plus 300, because I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be nonstop boxing in the middle of the cage, and I don't see either guy trying to mix it up. So I'm going to go with that. And finally, remember, no bias here. I'm going to go Tokos by submission at plus 500.
oh,
I think I think Tuco's going to take him down. I think Tafa is not great on the ground, albeit he does look good in good shape based on his Instagram. He looks in really good shape,
yeah, he does.
Tafa. But being in shape doesn't help you get better on the ground or have more skill on the ground.
Oh,
Um, so I think Tuco takes him down. Tafa makes a mistake getting up, gives his neck up, and that's all she wrote. I could
mm.
totally see him trying to sweep or bridge, and he just gives his neck up or gives his back up in a mistake. But yeah, that'll be it for me, man. I feel pretty good. I didn't have too many today, but yeah, this is what I'm going with.
Short and sweet. We like to hear. Yeah, I got Tuco sub. I'm not going to bury the lead here. That was my four or third of
Oh
four.
wow. Oh.
I mean, we got it at what, plus 2,600, I think, in Tampa. And it was my fault. I forgot to tell him to wrestle beforehand.
No,
I
yeah.
DM'd him. Don't worry, I DM'd him. We're good.
Hey, he
He
shot
hasn't
10 times.
he hasn't responded, but it's me putting it out there. He knows it's me. Next one, I got Petrino by decision at plus 700. This is kind of also a hedge. I
Who
think
is this guy,
Petrino's
man?
listen plus 700 is Petrino. We've seen him get a little more conservative as the years go on. He was headed to a decision win against Justin Kobe. He decisioned Tyson Pedro by wrestling.
How many
He
takedowns do you think
almost
he has in the UFC without looking?
12, 13.
16.
Jeez. Yeah, well,
I
there
think
you
I think
go.
he took down Tyson Pedro like 7 times.
Oh, I don't doubt it. One of the worst takedown defense guys of all time.
Yeah.
He went to boxing because he couldn't defend a takedown. Um, yeah, anyway, uh, I think this could be a pretty boring, like, ground and not even ground and pound, ground and stall decision victory from Vitor Petrino. And it's kind of hedging the under 1.5. I knew we were going to have in the parlay. So Um,
Thanks for talking against our parlay, buddy.
Listen, I got two hedges against our parlay now. The only leg that's not hedged is the main event, and we'll see when we get there.
Oh
Um,
God.
so that's it. That's our episode. We'll see you next week for UFC 318. Dylan, you're not going to be on as far as I know right now. How you looking forward to UFC 318? Give me a, you know what? Not even a your favorite fight. Just give me a an enunciation and yeah. Just give me something. Give me a noise.
Yeah,
Uh,
give us a noise. Give us a noise about how you feel about the next week's cards.
uh,
Okay.
That's
the
good.
main
Okay.
the
Yeah.
main event will be cool.
Yeah,
Just
give us
It will.
the last fight will be cool.
give us an
Yeah.
interpretive dance about how you feel. Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Dana,
There
give
we
us some
go.
good fights. Like, what the fuck is this?
Ah,
It's getting
Dana's checked
ridiculous.
out. Dana's at a gambling table in his mind 99% of the time.
That's where I met him before. I was at the
Dana's
high
at a
limit
gambling
table,
table right now going, what's happened to Ben Askren? And hey, 300,000? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
1.2 million.
yeah.
1.2
Fuck
million.
him.
Ah, indeed. Thanks for coming on, Dylan.
Thanks for
I'm sure
having me.
that's water.
Yeah, it's water.
Will, uh-huh. I'm
6
sure.
million.
All right. All righty there. All righty. That's been sparring sessions. That's been best bets. We'll see you next time for UFC 318. See you later.
A good one.